Tops and the Premier League combined for the first time ever. Let's have a look at this release. Let's deep dive into it. Let's review it and see if the fuss is really worth it. As I've discussed and as we know, Topps most recently acquired quite a few big licenses within our soccer card world. That included, of course, the big gun of them all, the Premier League. So, with the acquisition of the Premier League licensing, we're seeing Topps roll out and introduce some of their iconic lines under the Premier League banner. So, that brings us to today's review, which is Topps Finest Premier League 2026. So as you can see on screen, there is your box. There is Topps Finest Premier League. It looks exactly as we expect Finest to look. Nothing really different has changed in the box appearance. So what do we get per hobby box? We get 60 cards, which is split into 6 packs of 10 cards. You are guaranteed 2 chrome autos per box, and the price of this box was £260. First thing we have to acknowledge in this situation is the price of that box, and that is very high. That is a steep amount we are expected to pay for only 60 cards, so I think that price is just too much.
Here comes the money.
Here we go. Money talk.
Here comes the money.
The second thing we have to discuss, as per usual when it comes to our reviews, is the hype cycle behind the release. And we are seeing a big trend from Topps here because the hype cycle, nothing again. Zero effort put in, but Topps don't really need to put in much effort anymore. Now, what I'm referencing is the pre-order and the details about this release were made live 24 hours before it was available. So that gave everyone just 24 hours to make a decision, move their finances around, but surprise, surprise, didn't matter, sold out within minutes, maybe even seconds. So Topps don't even need to put in the time and effort with marketing and hype because really, it just sells out anyway.
Okay, let's go.
So let's have a look at these cards. Now, normally we start out by looking at the base cards because normally we get to see them. But interestingly enough, Topps haven't given any look at what the base cards will look like. So we are starting out with what the auto looks like, and an auto from Erling Haaland himself. That is the 1 of 1. And stylistically, it's what you expect. It's a bit of a splash of color. It's a bit iconic. Topps Finest doesn't really change over the years. I guess that's not really a bad thing, but there you go. There is your auto from Haaland. Now we get to see another auto, and there we go. That's the out of 50 for Willian. And as you can see, it keeps that same pattern that you saw previously with Haaland. So there you go. That's going to be the out of 50 look, which Topps are doing as a gold. Of course, we're getting dual autos because Topps would not miss a beat and a chance to do that. There is a dual auto, a bit of a flashback auto in some senses. There's your Salah and Mane, and that is also the 1 of 1. As we always expect, there is going to be case hits, there's going to be inserts, and this one is titled Swerve, and I'm not sure about this. This looks like Topps' attempt at doing a color blast, and I don't think it works. There's just a bit too much going on there. You can see that blast of red, which looks all right, but then there's that weird multi-line swerve kind of swirl going on. Doesn't quite fit for me. It will be a popular card. It'll be interesting to see the checklist for that one. But there you go. There is the insert of Swerve. Now we get to see another insert. This one is Aura, and there is your Roy Keane. I quite like that. It's got a kind of artistic look to it. We are seeing the 101, so I would be interested to seeing what just the base looks like. But there you go. There is another insert featuring Roy Keane. Last but not least, we get the Finest Idols insert featuring Wayne Rooney. Not bad. It will probably pop in person, but for me personally, it just seems a little bit lackluster. It does seem like it's trying a bit too hard to be a flashback to previous years, But there you go. There is your finest idols, Wayne Rooney. So let's get into this checklist. We start things out with the base set of common cards, 100 featured with a parallel breakdown, which seems about standard for them, just enough to make a bit of money. But as we're seeing, if you look there, there is a new one they've created, which is called a Saturday 3 p.m. refractor, which I don't know why we're naming and adding new refractors, but there you go. There is going to be a bit of a breakdown per base set in the common set. So who do we get? It looks like it's about 4 or 5 players per club. As you can see on screen, there is Semenyo, Trossard, Roy Wilson, Mitoma, Lyle Foster, Kyle Walker, Cole Palmer, Roman Essie, Max Dowman. Of course, they've included Max Dowman. Of the popularity and hype behind his cards is ridiculous. We've got Jack Grealish, Tyler Dibbling, Josh King, Dominic Calvert-Lewin, Virgil van Dijk, Rodri, Cunha, Bruno Fernandes, Joel Linton, Tonali, Igor Jesus, Wilson Isidore, Jed Spence, Lucas Paqueta, Callum Marshall, and Enzo Gonzalez, just to name a few of them. So we had base set common, now we've got base set uncommon. Another 100 cards, same parallel breakdown, including that new Saturday 3 p.m. refractor. Let's see who we get. Probably a lot of bleed over from the last one. There's Justin Kluivert, there's Max Dowman, there's William Saliba, Morgan Rogers, Nathan Collins, Mitoma's in there again, Cole Palmer is in there again, Enzo Fernandez, Dwight McNeil, Josh King, Mohamed Salah, Erling Haaland, Rodri, Cunha, Bruno Fernandes, Anthony Gordon, Xhaka, Enzo Leafy, Pedro Porro, Lucas Paqueta, Oli Scales, and Jean Ares, just to name a few. So we've seen common, we've seen uncommon. Now's the rare base set. 100 cards, possibly, most likely, another bleed over of a lot of the same names, same parallel breakdown. Who have we got? We've got Semenyo, we've got Victor Gyökeres, Martin Odegaard, Declan Rice, Yuri Tillemans, Mitoma again, Tom Watson, Liam Delap, João Pedro, Chris Richards, Alex Iwobi, Harry Gray, Virgil van Dijk, Isak, Marmoush, Cunha, Bruno Fernandes, Anthony Gordon, James McAtee, Chris Rigg, Archie Gray, Jared Bowen, and Jorg Strand Larsen. Now we're into the autograph part of the checklist. Finest autographs is the first set we get to see. 89 players, parallels including a bunch there, but no Saturday 3 p.m. Unfortunately, you don't get that in finest autographs. Here we go. We've got Elanga, Archie Gray, Robinson, Ashley Young, Bruno Fernandes, Bukayo Saka, Clint Dempsey, Chris Richards, Chris Wood, Dirk Kuyt, Dominic Solanke, Erling Haaland, Emmy Smith-Rowe, Jamie Gittins, Harry Gray, Jack Grealish, João Palhinha, Jacob Ramsey, Kyle Walker, Moises Caicedo, Mohamed Kudus, Mohamed Salah, Nathan Collins, Oliver Giroud, Ollie Watkins, Pedro Neto, Jean Arise, Riyad Mahrez, Sol Campbell, Tom Watson, William Saliba, just to name a few. Next is Finest Moments autographs. There's only 24 featured, less parallels. These are all going to be flashbacks, I assume, and by the look straight away, yes, they are. Alan Shearer, David Beckham, Dennis Bergkamp, Heung-min Son, Ian Wright, Kevin Keegan, Pape Cisse, Patrick Vieira, Steve Bruce, and Wayne Rooney at Everton. Now is Finest Season. These are all going to be flashback players of yesterday, 15 of them, few parallel breakdowns you can see. And who do we get in this one? David James, Eric Cantona, Les Ferdinand, Robbie Fowler, Rob Lee, Stan Collymore, and Teddy Sheringham at Spurs. The dual autos are called finest partnerships, 15 of them, including Anderton and Sheringham, Hasselbank and Gudjonsson, Henri and Perez, Sadio Mane, Mohamed Salah, John Terry and Cannavaro, and Poyet and Zola of Chelsea. Now we're into arrivals autographs. So these are going to be their rookies, they're up and coming. And really, out of them, there's two names that everyone will chase, or actually probably three. The big one is Willian of Chelsea, Max Dowman, of course, of Arsenal, and Rio of Liverpool. Main attractions autographs. So these are going to be probably what they mean bigger names. And there is a few players of yesterday thrown in there. As you can see, Andy Cole, Cole Palmer, David Silva, Gareth Bale, Luka Modric, Moises Caicedo, Mohamed Salah, and Virgil van Dijk. Gusto graphs, not sure about that name. There are 15 players, and these all seem current. Thankfully, no more legends in this little checklist. Anthony Gordon's, Declan Rice, Enzo Fernandez, Jared Bowen, Kai Havertz, Martin Zubinembi, just to name a few. Last but not least is what they are calling finest fans. Now, there's been a bit of talk about this part of the checklist. We do know these are on-card autos. As you can see, a few parallel refractors available. And there you go. These are all celebrity autographs linked to the club they support. And I wonder why. I don't know why we're getting this. This doesn't make sense. This feels stupid and ridiculous. As you can see, Anne Hathaway of Arsenal, Jill Scott of Sunderland, LeBron James for Liverpool, as it says that one is on card, Mel B of the Spice Girls with Leeds, Mel C of the Spice Girls with Liverpool, and Samuel L. Jackson for Liverpool. I don't think these cards are worth it. Don't think this is necessary. This feels fucking stupid, but there you go. Finest fans is also in the checklist. Now we come into what they're calling common inserts. So these are going to be the ones that you see in your packs all the time. Expected brilliance is the first one. There is a refractor breakdown, so you can get these in different numbered parallels. So here we go. 40 featured. Ebra Ize, Harvey Elliott, Jadon Anthony, João Pedro, Harry Gray, Isak, Etike, Mbuemo, Voltemade, Chris Wood, Diarra, Xavi Simmons, and Fer Lopez. Swerve is the next one. 40 players in this one. From Max Dowman, there is a Garnacho, an Essay, a Dibbling, Emil Smith-Rowe, Alex McAllister, Jeremy Doku, Bruno Fernandes, Tonali, Xhaka, Palinha, and João Gomez. Arrivals is your next common insert. Only 10 this time. These are all your rookies, same as we saw in the autographs. And again, see, there you go. Here's your Josh King, Harry Gray, Max Dowman, and Willian of Chelsea. Clean is the last common insert. Not sure what that means. Only 10 players. Virgil van Dijk, Dan Burn, Nathan Collins, and Lewis Dunk, just to name a couple. Now we're into what they're calling the short print inserts, which probably means actually case hits, but they didn't want to call them case hits. That's what I'm assuming. 40 cards are inside the Swerve Fusion variation, which we saw earlier is kind of like what they're trying to pull off as a Color Blast. And we have a variation breakdown. Of course we do. They're going to milk every part of this. There is Justin Kluivert, Morgan Rogers, Garnacho, Tyler Dibbling, Josh King, Emil Smith-Rowe, Alex McAllister, Bruno Fernandes, Livramento, João Palinha, Lucas Paqueta, and João Gomez. Gusto is the next short print insert, and there's only 20 of them, and there is only one parallel, and that's a superfractor. So who are the players we get? Kai Havertz, Heung-min Son, Anthony Gordon, Declan Rice, Schloboslai, Chris Rigg, and João Pedro, just to name a couple. Nightmare Fuel is the next one. Again, this only has a superfractor, 20 players in here. Interesting name, I got to give him that. Cesco, Gokares, Wayne Rooney, Harry Kane, Fernando Torres, Didier Drogba, Eric Cantona, Ian Wright, and Alan Shearer. Main attraction, 20 players in here. Another one that just has a superfractor variation. Semenyo, Rodri, Gareth Bale, Salah, Mitoma, Naweri, Andy Cole, Willian, Carlos Tevez, and Luka Modric. Polka is next. Again, just a superfractor as your parallel variation. David Beckham, Kevin De Bruyne, Saka, Hazard, Heung-min Son, Thierry Henry, Max Dowman, Frank Lampard, Dennis Bergkamp, and Sergio Aguero. Headliners, 10 of them in here. We've got Kudus, we've got Foden, we've got Rodri, Declan Rice, and Morgan Gibbs White, just to name a couple. Aura is next. We saw this earlier with the Roy Keane. So this is predominantly, I assume, going to be players of yesterday. Here we go. Balotelli, Gascoigne, Grealish, Makalele, Saliba, Rooney, Gerrard, Wirtz, Harry Kane, and Didier Drogba. Last but not least is Finest Idols. There's only 5 of them, and there's a couple of parallel breakdowns, bronze, silver, and gold. And this is Gerrard, Lampard, Aguero, Kane, and Wayne Rooney. As you know, here at Totally Football Cards, we give a review and a rating out of 5. But before we do, we give you 3 reasons, 3 factors for that score. Reason number 1. We knew Finest and Premier League would link up ever since Topps got the licensing, but nonetheless, it's still really exciting seeing this finally here and seeing this is just the beginning of many more releases and many years to come.
Woo! Yeah, baby! That's what I've been waiting for. That's what it's all about. Woo!
Reason number 2. That Finest fans part of the checklist, you know, the celebrities and their clubs within this checklist, feels fucking stupid, useless, and ridiculous. We don't need celebrity autos within our soccer checklists. No one has been screaming out for this. This is their attempt to try and drive more sales. But to be honest, I don't think it should. It is unnecessary and useless.
Because right now you're as useless as Black Widow is to the Avengers.
So, what's your superpower?
Kicking.
Oh, right, because none of us can kick. Hey, which one of you guys can kick?
Reason number 3. I think you honestly have to say this checklist feels and looks a bit bloated. You have taken your base cards and split them into 3 subsets, as we saw, common, uncommon, and rare. That is unnecessary because let's not forget that each of those 100 cards has 10 to 15 parallels and variations, so that all adds up and that makes a lot. Then we also have every insert pretty much had 5 to 10 parallel variations also. So this checklist is quite big and bigger than some people will expect. And overall, that's unnecessary. We don't need more product. We need better product.
Guys, it's too much. Excuse me, it's too much.
So what do we give this out of 5? It's around about a 3.5, I think. This release will get a lot of fanfare and attention, and I understand why. Because there is understandably a big sector of the collector base of the hobby that love the Finest release lines. So add into the fact it's now linked to the Premier League, fanfare, excitement behind this is going to be huge. But when we come to do reviews, we're always honest. We don't overhype. We are straight down the barrel. And when it comes to this release, you also have to look overall at what's gone on here. The price is too much. The checklist is too bloated. And there is stupid fucking celebrity autos within the checklist. There are elements of this release where it looks and appears that Topps were focused. But then there's parts of this release where it looks like they clearly missed what they were doing. forgot what they were doing, and lost sight of the goal. If Topps paid a little bit more attention, took a little bit more time for each release, I think this could have been really outstanding and could have ended up being one of the best releases of the year. But unfortunately, the things they've done wrong have held it back and stopped it getting above 3.5. Finest is finally here for the Premier League. This is just the beginning. Let's see where it goes from here, and let's see what next year brings. If you've got this far, make sure you hit that like button. And if you haven't yet, hit that subscribe button. Become part of the Totally Football Cards community so you never miss a weekly upload. Now, also, I'd love to hear your guys' opinions and thoughts on Topps Finest Premier League. Hit up those comments. Give me your thoughts. Give me your opinions. Open up the discussion. I love hearing from you guys as always. This has been Totally Football Cards. My name's Jeremy. Yeah, buddy.
Let's get it.